Well, since set 3 was short, I decided to stay up and bring you set 4. And I'm actually very excited to be bringing you this game because Mind has been on a roll so far in this Winners League match between WeMade and STX. The way Winners League works, if you win, you keep playing, and Mind has won 3 games straight at this point. So Mind is going to have a chance to sweep the entire match for WeMade Fox. And the player that is being sent out to try to prevent that from happening is Notice, a relatively unknown Terran player. Unless I'm terribly wrong about something, I think Jelizerg still plays for STX, so I have no idea why they have an entire 4-person lineup for this Winners League set that features Notice, who's a very much unknown player just getting started in his pro career, and doesn't feature July, but I'm sure they have their reasons. Maybe they just want to give him some rest. At any rate, Mind has already torn through 3 much better known players. Calm, who's a pretty good up-and-coming Zerg, Cal in the last game, and Washin, of course, in game 2. So a good Zerg, a good Terran, a good Protoss, and now sort of a mediocre Terran, and we'll see. Mind definitely is the presumptive favorite to take this game. Notice has about 10 pro games total, and in TVZ and TVP, he's a combined 1 in 5. On the other hand, what might give STX just a little bit of hope is that he's actually undefeated in TVT. I won't say how many games this is. I'm not sure if it includes this present game, but he's played just a couple of TVTs, but he's won all the games he's played. So maybe he has something going for him in this particular matchup. We'll see. The blue Terran that we're seeing here on the screen is Mind for WeMade, and the yellow Terran on the other side of the map is Notice. So the map I think is Tau Cross. I didn't check beforehand. Tau Cross is actually one of my favorite maps. I'm not sure exactly what I like about it so much, but it's got a nice open ground in the middle and lots of bridges. I think bridges are fun. They add sort of an element of realism to the game. It's a sort of actual terrain feature that does figure in real military situations more than random bridge lines or big piles of metal structures sticking out of the ground or clusters of blue mineral or whatever. So at any rate, Notice going for standard build, and the last 2 games we've seen Mind go for cheese. He went for it all-in cheese against Cal, 2 proxy Raxes against what turned out to be a fast expand from Cal, and the game was predictably over very quickly in favor of Mind. The game before that, he went for less all-in cheese, but double starport proxy raids against Washin, and also did a pretty good job with that. But this time, Mind is going in the opposite direction, and he's going for, I think that's a 14cc. I didn't see a barracks go down for him. So Mind is going to play a very aggressive economy game, and get that second command center down very early. Bring another STB out. I don't know if that'll be to build his barracks out there and try to wall off his choke. Notice looks very focused. He reminds me sort of one of those dogs that have the hair drooping over their eyes, and just given the combination of his expression and the long bangs. At any rate, he's scouting now, and he's going to see this 14cc from Mind. Mind is putting down his barracks now, but it's going to be very obvious what this build is, and we'll see whether Notice transitions into a quick 2-fac. What'll be important is to see whether he's kept his SCVs on gas. If he has, then he'll be able to put down another factory very quickly. Otherwise, there'll be a little bit of a delay, and that might give Mind the breathing room he needs to make this build successful. They're not showing Notice's base yet. Going back there, first factory almost complete, but we still don't know whether he's going to have the gas to put down a second factory immediately. Trying to counter-expand at this point would be a bad move for Notice. I would just throw away this window of vulnerability that he can exploit at the moment, and it would also put him still significantly behind in economic terms. He is pushing in with a Marine and SCV, bringing another Marine up. And that'll put a little bit of pressure on Mind. As you can see, Mind is not building SCVs out of that second. Command Center, wow, Starport actually is going down for Notice. So Notice, rather than going for a 2-fact push, is going to go for Wraiths. And Wraiths can also be effective against this 14cc build. In my mind, probably not as effective, because all Mind needs to do in this situation to counter Wraiths is to get up an engineering bay and put down a couple turrets. Or alternately go for quick Goliaths. I think the general rule, there's sort of a rock, paper, scissors relation between econ builds, tech builds, and rush builds. Usually rush builds beat econ builds beat tech builds, and tech builds beat rush builds. And that's very loose, and maybe people can probably come up with some convincing counterexamples to that. Vulture harass going on. Meanwhile, Notice somehow got past that bunker. I guess there's only 1 or 2 Marines inside. He's doing a lot of damage with this single Vulture. He's picked off 2 or 3 SCVs, finally does go down to that Marine. So, Notice is evening things up a little bit, but he's going to need to do something with this Wraith harass to keep even. Mind, meanwhile, has put down a factory, and he's now putting down a starport as well. Control tower down for Notice, so Notice might go for early drop, though I don't know how effective that would be if he drops a couple of vultures. The fact that there's nothing researching at the control tower suggests that might be what he's going for. So he might be going for a vulture drop in Mind's main, and that could be effective. It's hard to say at this point. It depends on how quickly Mind gets those Wraiths out, whether he has a tank in the backfield by the time the drop comes in, and it is going to be dropped. Dropship coming out, picking up a tank actually, so it's not going to be vulture harass. I don't know if the ridge above the natural is droppable. I don't think it is, so I don't think he could do that, but I could be wrong. It's been a while since I've played on Taucross or seen a TBT on it. So, now research going down at the starport. So he is going to go for Cloaked Wraiths now that he's got that first dropship out. We'll see what he does with that dropship. What? Oh, it is droppable. So shows what I know, and it's only able to it's able to shell the command center too. So Mind is in some trouble here. He's going to have to somehow get these 2 tanks off that ridge, and he only has 1 tank out himself. I'm not sure if he even has siege mode. Now Notice is putting down a command center, so Notice is going to try to get back in the game economically. Well, Mind isn't able to mine from the second base. Now the dropship is going in, and it's going to drop another tank. 2 more tanks. I don't know if those were the tanks from the ridgeline, or if Notice has 4 tanks out already. Now Mind's coming